So the
You have
closer
come at
you
a
live to the
difficult
surface, the higher
Some
class
are
you are.
failing for want of a
Unless
cure.
you're actually on the surface.
Atras Vala.
Dude, I just get paid to speak the truth.
I remember
If you
when
have
the
an
Grey
issue,
Wardens
speak
would
to my
visit.
employer.
Oh, the festivities we had.
What's a human doing?
Those days are past.
It's done. As you like.
Welcome to Lord Harriman's estate.
I heard there was a Grey Warden here. I am Dulin Forrender, second to Lord Harrimont, King Endrin's own choice as successor. Word is spreading that the surface may suffer a blight. It is shameful we are not in a better position to help. In an ordinary time, Lord Harrimont would be honored to meet you. Unfortunately, we've already caught more than one of Balin's spies approaching Harrimont under a pretense of friendship. So I'm afraid I won't be able to take your word. If you want to speak to Harrimont, you will need to prove he can trust you. That's a generous offer. If you mean it, you might attend the proving today. The Deshers take it very seriously, and unfortunately, Balin found some way to blackmail or intimidate House Harrimont's best fighters into stepping down. It would certainly make your loyalties loud and clear. Balin would never work with anyone who humiliated him in that way. Harrimont would have no fear of meeting with you then. Then I'm afraid your only choice is to wait until there's a winner. Lord Harrimont cannot risk his life working with someone of unproven loyalties. If you change your mind, let me know. The proving is this afternoon, and Lord Harrimont could certainly use you on his side.
House Harrimont is honored to have you here.
You must be under great strain with the blight upon the land.
Dragged on too long. It's an insult to King Endrin's memory.
Grey Warden arrives in Orzammar. Most likely, the public has a right to know. Greetings.
So this is the seat of the king. Except he isn't sitting there at the moment, I suppose.
Thief! Warden, I'm outraged. A thief in the Shapered. What have we been reduced to? I did. He was bald, with the most garish brand across his head. Almost like he took pride in being castless. Imagine. No offense, Warden. He's probably in the slums somewhere. As if he'd find a buyer for a stolen tome in Dust Town. They couldn't know the value.
Excuse me, I can't chat. Oh, pardon me. Were you looking for a particular volume? Not that I could really help. I don't know the libraries very well. I'm just doing some research. Not exactly, but I'm looking for any birth records from the old Orton Tig. It fell in the last blight, and my mother's family claims to be related. If I'm an Orton, it means I'm noble. I'd have my own house, a seat in the assembly. Unfortunately, any records would be buried in the Tig's ruins, somewhere in the deep roads. You're castless! What do you know about fighting Darkspawn? There aren't even any expeditions planned until they settle this election. Otherwise, you need special permission from the Assembly or some great lord. A Grey Warden? Mother always said that if anyone could find the Tig, it was the Wardens. I hear Prince Balin and Lord Harrowmont have both been sending out small teams these days. Yes, if you can find the Tig in any records, that could do it. That could prove I'm a noble. If you could. Maybe now that you're looking. It's almost too much to hope.
When I last walked this hall, Endrin was king and Orzammar was at peace. The memories often speak of the swiftness with which change overtakes us. But it is different to see it firsthand. I apologize, Warden. I should not burden a stranger with such thoughts. I am Zebor, the Shaper of Memories. The Grey Warden's visit has been recorded in the memories, along with all who accompany you. That is an odd request. Have you grown so fond of the Surfacer's ways in your brief absence? I thought so. This is not the first time he's made this plea. My answer to Brother Burkle hasn't changed. So I ask you the same. On what basis would you have me insult the ancestors and overturn 2,000 years of tradition? Wherever this chantry has spread among humans, it replaced all beliefs preceding it. Were we to let these preachers into Orzammar, how long before the ancestors stop hearing the voices praising them? What sort of charities do you mean? I am not certain this is in Orzammar's best interests. Our castes have served us well, but it's possible this service could benefit our people. Very well, he may hold a prayer meeting as he requested, if not build a new temple to his god. At least the words would come from one of our own. Now, is there anything more? Perhaps the books here can make up for the lack of attention you paid your elders. We were a great empire once, and our land stretched through the deep roads. Kal Shirak was capital then, but we lost too many battles. We lost our golems, and we lost our territory. Now the empire is simply ruined tunnels filled with darkspawn. The Paragon Caridin, a smith of unsurpassed genius, invented the golems. For years they were our weapon against the Darkspawn. One golem is worth a dozen dwarves in battle, but Caridin's Tig is far into the deep roads. When it fell, we lost his secret to creating golems. There are books about it along these walls if you would read more. They are to us what a colony is to surfacers. At the other side of the old empire, during the last blight, the kings of Orzammar knew they couldn't hold everything. They sealed the deep roads, abandoning everyone still trapped in far-flung settlements. It was the only way to survive. Kal Shirak is the only other city to outlast the blight. We only rediscovered them recently, and they still haven't forgiven us. I will settle your mind if I can, Warden. All dwarves who die return to the stone as ancestors, to guide their families forever. But only one every few generations rises to paragon. A paragon is a dwarf whose accomplishments change Orzammar so much that the Assembly recognizes they've been born blessed. They are venerated as living ancestors and found a new noble house forever bearing their name. There is one paragon of this generation, a woman named Branka. She was born a smith, but her inventions caught the Assembly's eye. Before she had seen 20 years, she created a smokeless coal. It could burn in a cave without vents and no one would choke from it. It earned her paragon status. She went into the deep roads 2 years ago seeking out secrets of the ancient smiths. She never returned. Perhaps the books here can make up for the lack of attention you paid your elders. We were a great empire once, and our land stretched through the deep roads. Kal Shirak was capital then, but we lost too many battles. We lost our golems, and we lost our territory. Now your present...
Yes, of course.
Disgusting. Someone stole from the Shaper. Yes, that...
As you like.
The Grey Warden. I've heard a lot about you from Rika. I hear you seek the aid of Orzammar's finest. Yes, the treaty. I've seen it in the Shaper's libraries. Now the difficulty is that the treaty only compels our king, and we are sadly lacking one of those right now. You must understand, Haramond hides behind his good reputation while sending spies and assassins. Balin can't know who to trust. It's been like a knife in the heart for Balin to see so many of his father's men stand with the usurper. That hurts worst of all. That Haramond would take advantage of the dying king's delirium to plant such poisonous suspicions against his own son. After that, you understand why Balin cannot trust the word of a stranger, however close to family that stranger might be. Haramond has engaged in a campaign of bribery and coercion to ensure that every house serves him. But if a neutral party, a stranger, were to approach certain key members, perhaps with irrefutable evidence of Harriman's deception.
Irrefutable evidence, which I suppose you have?
I'm certain my Lord Prince would show his gratitude. Harriman promised the same portion of his estate to two different Deshers, Lady Dace and Lord Helmy. Harriman can't possibly grant it to both of them, but they won't find out until after the vote is cast. I have copies of the promissory notes Harriman gave each of them. Once they see those, they should both reconsider their votes. Don't expect this offer to last. If my prince hears you swore allegiance to his enemy, he won't be so friendly next time. I will be here if you change your mind.
The assembly is in session. Enter quietly if you wish to observe.
Your mind has gone to dust if you think we would pass such a writ. Half our houses would go broke without the service trade.
The proposal is only effective until we have a king to ensure we are respected by the surfacers.
Leaving you conveniently positioned to take over all contracts. I'll see your head on a pike first.
Deshers, lords and ladies of the assembly, I've already doubled the guard to prevent violence. Must I summon more?
Steward Bandalore, Balin's sympathizers are tying our hands with trivialities. They may as well open us to the sky.
I suggest we put the matter to a vote.
And I suggest you have a taste of my family's mace.
Enough! The assembly is in recess until the members can regain control of their emotions. Stone-forsaken fools and dusters. I'm sorry. This is the assembly of the clans. Only Deshers and occasional guests of state are allowed in. Forgive me. I am so exhausted. I completely forgot about the message from the gate guard. Welcome back to Orzammar, Warden. A great deal has changed in recent days. Respect for your role is great, but you won't receive a proper hearing until we have a king on the throne. Troubling, but it will still seem distant compared to the empty throne. The assembly is blind to all else. This is their world, and it ended when Endrin died. I must admit, Warden, I am at a loss myself. It lies with Prince Balin or Lord Harriman, and they are slow to trust anyone in these uncertain times. Dulin for Endrin, Harriman's man, can be found at the Harriman estate. Vartag Gavorn, Prince Balin's second, is often here in the assembly. I only wish there was more I could do for you.
Do you see how things lie, Warden? Lord Harriman cannot trust you unproven, but he welcomes a good faith gesture. Do not tarry. Proving starts this afternoon.
Yes, of course.
Keep your hands to yourself, Brand. I'm watching you.
No one enters the prince's estate without an invitation.
Mm-hmm.
Right then.
Good on you, Warden. You caught them in the act. I guess desperate times drive people to strange things.
As you say. Very well. Yes, as you say.
Keep your hands to yourself, Brand. I'm watching you.